Previously on Libel the Bible.
Rusty ranted about the Supreme Court, Republicans, Southerners, and Democrats.
I'm a student of humanity.
Yahweh ranted about genital discharge.
He's not a fan of gonorrhea or menstrual flow.
Yahweh provides rules for masturbation and sex.
But no gay sex. That's an abomination in his eyes.
No incest or bestiality, because apparently the Israelites didn't get the memo from humanity's first 196,000 years.
And now, episode 27 of Libel the Bible.
You are looking very solemn.
You're laughing,
and
Scott. No good.
Why are you so solemn and serious tonight, man?
I'm a little sad.
About
my cat.
Oh, shit, Oliver.
Yeah,
Sorry,
my
I
cat
didn't mention his name.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Why? Who's going to find me based on that information?
I don't know.
Yeah,
he was around for a long time, that cat.
17 years, man. 2005, we got him in the summer of 2005. He was an 8-week-old kitten. Amy had been studying a feral colony of cats in the back of the building where we used.
Feral or feral?
Feral.
Yeah,
I said feral. Yeah, I don't know why. Feral.
You also say pharaoh too. So
feral. Yeah, so they were feral cats that were living in the back of our building in the Bronx, and she would go out there every night. She literally had a notebook. She was like Jane Goodall. She had a notebook, and she would she knew the entire family because it was mostly females. Mm-hmm. She named them all. She studied them, and there was one tomcat that used to come around. She called him Nelson because he was like Nelson from The Simpsons, ha ha, he was the bully, he would bully other tomcats out, And so she knew who Oliver's mom was, and one day she went out there, and Oliver was stuck on a roof with in tar, it was a tarred roof in the summer. He was only 8 weeks old. His mom was nowhere to be seen. And Amy took him in, and since then we had him 17 years. So this summer, right around now, is when he would have been turning 17. He's been sick for the past 2 weeks. It's been getting worse and worse. He stopped eating, and then 2 days ago we had to put him down. So that was that's tough. It's I'm still it's muscle memory when I'm in the house now. I'll be doing dishes, and my muscle memory is I can't step back without checking to see if something's under my feet, or I'll come home from somewhere after a day, and I the first instinct is to go and fill up the water dish, or you know what I mean, put food, it's just all this muscle memory and repetition, all that is every time that kicks in, it reminds me that he's not around anymore. And I mean, he's been a part of the family for 17 years, man. This goddamn fucking cat. Every time I tried to read something, he'd fucking stick his snout in between me and whatever I was trying to read.
And he knew I was
that
allergic
shit.
to him.
Oh, he knew yo, you, not just you.
Why can't I be special, man?
You,
Ever.
Sika, everyone that came over that was allergic to cats, immediately all up on them. One time, Tom's Tori came over. She fucking hates cats.
I don't hate cats.
I know, but she hates cats. He was fucking next to her the whole these animals know.
Well, maybe he was trying to change her opinion. Look, we're not all bad. I'm one of the
he's
good ones.
the ambassador.
I'm one of the good ones. So wait, what happened to Nelson the tomcat?
Oh, we don't know. We moved away. We moved out of the Bronx in 2009. He was still alive, but at this point, a street cat, their lifespan's only 3 to 5 years.
I was wondering if you took it in one of the kittens, but still proceeded to watch the other ones to see how their lives turned out.
While we were living in the Bronx, yes, but then eventually we moved away from the Bronx. And we didn't go back.
So would she have rescued and taken in any of the ones that got stuck in the tar? Like that was just the La Brea tar pit one for that litter?
I don't know. I think she felt like he was so like helpless and pathetic. Like, like we had to take. So the doctor we took him to was called Dr. Katz. Of course, he was a veterinarian named Dr. Katz. So he had to take he had to remove he had to remove the tar from his fur. So like in all of Oliver's like first photos, like his legs are just like completely shaved. Like you could just see like, the skin because like tar had to be removed.
So he's like the anti-Boots. He's like Bizarro Boots, right?
Yes.
So do you think when Amy was taking notes, like watching them from a distance, taking notes, like the Force ghost of Darwin would like appear next to her and like take notes too? That'd be cool. Right?
Yes, I think it directed her to where she had to move next. You must go to Dagobah.
Oh, man.
So, so I'm a little sad about that. Yeah, I mean, look, I've known, like, for the past, like, year and a half, for sure, I've been, like, preparing myself. Like, he's getting up there. I know he's going to die. I know he's going to die. And it's like, so for the past year and a half, I've known, but it's always fucked up. And you know what's always fucked up? I'll tell you what's really fucked up, Scott.
Sure you will. Grind your gears.
This is the most fucked up part. So in the past year, my dad's sister, my aunt, has died.
Yes.
In December, when we started recording our first episodes of this podcast, we published like in the middle of January, but we published 3 episodes together that we had started recording in December.
Oh, right, yes.
We were recording while my mom was getting lung cancer surgery and eventually dying in the hospital, not from lung cancer, but from an infection. So the past year has been pretty shit. And the fucked up part is this, Scott. In the movies, sometimes you'll see, like, a quick death, like a quick death. Like, I don't think I've ever experienced in my family, like, a quick death. They've all been, like my mom's parents, okay? My father's parents were quick. Like, I was away in camp.
KGB?
Well, the official story is heart disease, but you know how that goes. Yeah, but I mean, really, like, for the majority of deaths in my family, they've been, like, lingering deaths. Like, you've experienced the lingering death in your family.
Lung cancer as well.
Yeah, but that was, like, over a long period of time, right? My mom, she had lung cancer, but that's not what she died from. She died after successful surgery. Like like it was early stage lung cancer that they found. The surgery was successful. And then she wound up getting an infection. She wound up getting MRSA, which led to sepsis and then a whole bunch of other bullshit. So it's like, can I get a win on the death front? Just like a quick one. Like if there's got to be a death, enough with the lingering shit.
I want to insert a joke here, but I don't want to bring anything. I don't want to bring some bad juju.
Yeah, well, so you asked me why I'm a little down, so that's why I'm a little down. My Ollie is gone.
All right, here. Here's the Ollie, man. I ain't pouring none out though on the floor because
all right.
We were outside.
That's all right.
It's Ollie, man.
Yeah.
One of the good ones.
So, what else?
If there's any consolation, all these people and animals you discussed with, they are now with God, probably.
The Rainbow Bridge. I told Amy. I was like, if somebody fucking mentions the goddamn Rainbow Bridge bullshit.
Oh my God.
So, of course, her dad sends an email. And there's nothing personal about the email. It's just literally like the poem of like the Rainbow Bridge. I ain't even read it.
That's a poem?
I guess.
Oh,
I was just like, of course. The Rainbow Bridge.
Let's see. Do I still have it here?
What are you looking for?
Oh, it was a Rainbow Bridge GIF. But it was a dog, so it didn't get sent.
Oh, you were going to send it to me? Don't do that. That would just annoy me. I hate it.
I'm sure. I didn't know what the Rainbow Bridge was, actually.
So what about you? How was your week, I guess?
I guess it was all right. What the hell was...
It hasn't even been a full week since our recording. We recorded Sunday. Today's Thursday because I'm going away, so we got to do a quick recording.
Yesterday you weren't feeling it. It was like 15 degrees cooler.
Well, yesterday was like the day after like I killed my cat.
Oh, you didn't kill your cat.
I mean, what did I do, Scott?
You know what, Russ? I'm already feeling like we should probably begin every show.
The vet killed the cat.
With you just repeating the same story, as you know, to become like exposure therapy, like just repeat it constantly. So
why?
Like, so
what
you're not
story?
So down anymore. Like the whole story about what happened to Oliver.
So next week,
just every
tell
week.
the story again.
Just keep telling it.
Is that what you did in therapy?
That's one of the many things.
What story were you telling?
I don't want to talk about it.
No.
But I'm fine now.
Even for our patrons, maybe
I was an alcoholic.
We should
way
ask our
before.
patrons how much they're willing to pay to listen to Scott tell the story that he used to tell his therapist over and over and over. The therapist retired, right? She like moved out of the country. What would you do to
she
her?
She might have gone insane.
Yeah, I think you like chased her out of the fucking profession.
That's not what happened. She she left me. Like,
Yeah.
like my mother did.
Yeah. Fucking bitches, man. They all leave.
Yeah, they all leave. No, she moved on to greener pastures, hopefully, and
like your mother did.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if she. Wow. I wonder if she left me because of me, just like my mother did.
Scott.
What?
It's not your fault, man.
Nah, man. I know, man.
Nah, it might be a little your fault. I mean,
Yeah. All right. Here's to the white wine.
White wine.
You want to just skip the podcast? Just hug it out, man? You need to feel like you need to hug it out?
Skip the podcast.
Oh, no. Okay, good.
Nah, man. This is our life now.
Yeah. Not only that, it might be somebody's therapy.
You think so?
I gotta tell you, man.
Tell me.
When I was going through some shit, like I started listening to the one podcast I've ever really listened to.
The Star Trek
and
podcast.
and it kind of got me through, man.
What's the name of that podcast?
I'm not gonna shout them out yet.
You don't want to shout them out?
No.
Why not?
I don't know. Probably all atheists too, right? Star Trek fans, they should be.
I mean,
who believes in God?
You don't
who believes in God? Star Wars fans. They believe in God.
You think so? You think it's two distinctly separate sets of fans, right?
Oh yeah, usually.
What's the overlap? If we were going to create like a Venn diagram, like what would be the overlap?
Like the J.J. Abrams movies. Like that's something like both can agree that action packed and like.
But I mean, as in terms of like who the people are that follow Star Wars versus Star Trek, would you say Star Trek? Who's nerdier?
Oh, Star Trek.
Well, they're smarter,
which makes them
more. They're more
geekier.
intellectual.
They're geekier, not nerdier.
Right.
Star Wars fans might be nerdier. I was going to say, because, they always like to run around in their costumes, and they're like, wait, hold on, man. There's entire conventions of Star Trek that do that, too.
They're kind of stupider because they're all into a universe based on zero science, right?
That's why I'm saying they probably believe in God.
Like, they have light speed travel in Sar Wars, but that's impossible. Like, relativity makes that an impossibility. What? You can't travel at the speed of light.
In this galaxy, maybe. But you don't know what's going on.
Well. But relativity covers the universe.
Listen. It's like saying, they might just be saying light speed. Just like AT&T claimed they had 5G, but it really was just 4G enhanced.
Right. Like God created the world in 6 days.
Yeah. So, God, AT&T, Star Wars,
it's all the same bullshit, right? Oh, there was another thing that I thought. Remember we were like listing all the possibilities that are more realistic than this being God, alien, time traveler, Superman, an evolved dinosaur. This could be, it could be, quote unquote, God in a simulation. So in other words,
I don't want to hear the simulation.
Someone's
story,
running a simulation. Yo, you think the ice cream truck's going to be picked up on this?
I don't know.
Why is an ice cream truck coming down this block? Are there going to be kids?
Oh, there used to be.
There used to be. What happened?
Before the dark days.
Then Rusty started coming around to record the podcast. It's only a matter of time before people put two and two together.
Yeah. Right. So do you mean like you're making the kids disappear, or the parents know you're here and they're like the kids are locked up?
I'm making the kids disappear. Allegedly. Allegedly.
Reminds me of a funny story. A child molester and a kid are walking into a forest, and the kid's like, "Oh my God, it's scary in there." He's like, "You think you're scared? I got to walk out of here alone later."
When it's dark.
Whatever I said.
Yeah, you messed up that whole joke.
I'm not a joke teller, man.
Scott.
Nah. And I'm sorry. There was no disrespect to anyone who's been molested. Sorry. That might have been...
Oh, my God. So now we got to qualify like everything. Goddamn... There's not a single joke that you can tell that doesn't offend someone, some group.
What did one ocean say to the other?
What?
Nothing. They just waved. See? Harmless. Nobody got hurt.
I hate it. I hate the world we live in.
Well, you said something about you want to carpet bomb everything.
I do. I want to carpet bomb the world.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
All right. You want to get into Leviticus, or you want to banter some more?
No. I want to live with this. You know what? Last episode I wasn't too happy with, but I found that a lot of it was the material.
Well, you weren't happy right after the recording, but then you listened to it.
It was okay. It was all right.
That's not what you texted me.
Oh, I was probably texting you more quotes that I was going to say people said, so I put that on.
No, you were texting me like...
I said it wasn't as bad as I thought.
Okay.
Well, I didn't say it was good. I don't think so. You can check the text.
I will check. Go ahead.
While you're doing that...
So you weren't happy with last week's episode?
Yeah.
Because...
You know what it was? I really think it was just the coming down off episode 25, which was just... You saw the praise we got for that.
Yeah.
So...
From you.
From somebody.
So you let me know it was better than you thought. That's what you had said. Better than I thought.
Yeah.
Better than I thought.
Yeah. But that's like saying a plane crash is better than I thought because only half the people
So on
died.
a scale of 1 to 5, what would you rate it? Like, how many stars would you give it?
I'm giving 2.5. I mean, right down
you
the
would
line,
give last episode 2.5 stars because I listened to it today. I was so I'm home with Noah today. And we had to do some things later in the afternoon. So in the morning time, I was taking care of some chores at home. And while I was doing all the chores, I was listening to our last episode because I didn't listen to it editing. I just threw that shit together real quick and like threw it up on.
See, it wasn't even worth editing, right?
And so I enjoyed it.
Oh, okay.
I enjoyed the part where I was talking about...
Wait, stop right there. You enjoyed the part where you were talking.
I was pretending I was a fucking serial killer. I was talking about slitting women's throats and fucking them in their neck hole.
In this episode, you're talking about abducting children.
In this episode, right. So there's a trend going on.
Yeah, I think there's more stuff I need to add to the website. Like
you
more
think
sections.
so?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm sad about Oliver. This is how it manifests. It manifests with delusions of... And by the way, I talked to you about Oliver before the recording of last episode, too. I told you, like, he's sick and, like, he's probably, like, on his last legs.
Maybe that's what I was feeling. I was just feeling like that.
You think so? You think I brought you down?
No. See, no, man. Don't ever think something you brings to the table that's from your heart is going to bring me down.
Right. All right.
I mean, that's kind of fucked up,
too.
It's all right.
I'm not going to leave you like your mom and therapist did. I'm here for you, man. I've been with you longer than either of those bitches.
Easy. Only one of them was that.
Where are we at?
Leviticus 19, ritual and moral holiness.
Nice. I like it.
I was like, you know what? Like I said, I thought the material was going to be a little shaky last week, but this material I actually liked.
Before you get into it,
of course,
I just want to mention this. We're gonna we should break this up into two sections: ritual and moral holiness.
Okay.
Okay, because I feel like a lot of this is good advice.
Yeah.
Taken like pretty much from the Ten Commandments.
Yeah.
Right? So a vast majority of this is really good advice. And then there's like some weird shit. Like some weird shit.
Oh my
So
Yahweh.
there's like rational advice and completely crazy advice.
Well, when we get to it, we'll see if you have to take it in the context of the time it was in.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, you have to.
Okay.
You have to. You can't be too harsh on people because it was a different time.
All right. So let's see.
All right. So basically, he starts off with, "You be holy because I be holy."
Right.
And I don't know if you've read this, like I told you to. Read holiness as clean, as sanitized. And
Right.
it
I
starts to
forgot
make
about
sense,
that.
man. So you be clean because I be clean. And like I said about that bumper sticker, cleanliness is close to godliness. Yeah. Because, don't be a dirty bastard. Then he was like, revere your parents.
Mm-hmm.
Good job. Keep my Sabbaths. All right. No idols, no cast images. Like, have they not learned this lesson yet?
He's like basically repeating the Ten Commandments again.
Yeah.
A large portion of Leviticus 19 is just that.
All right. So
I mean, basically he's telling you to like be honorable to the people in your life.
well, he hasn't really said that yet.
Well, he
said
hasn't
revere
said the
your
word
parents.
honorable, but he's talking about like in your family, like
All right. But then he jumps over to when you burn the offerings, you eat them on the first day. If for some reason you can't eat them on the first day, eat them on the second day. But if you eat them on the third day, that is an abomination you will be punished for.
Yeah.
So the only other time I saw the word abomination mentioned when it was homosexual sex. So he's eating 3-day-old food and homosexual sex are abominations. The only two real abominations in the in the Bible so far. So that's interesting.
Well, I mean, they don't deserve stoning at least.
Yeah. But then I like next part. He starts talking about when you're reaping your fields, and your vineyards.
Mm-hmm.
Don't reap the edge of the fields, or gather the gleanings. I had to look up gleanings. It's like picking up pieces, you know. And your vineyard, don't take all the grapes off, and the ones that stay on the floor, leave them there. Leave them for the poor and the aliens. Basically, like, don't get mad when guys are dumpster diving. Like, you left it, leave it there for them.
Well, he's telling them to be charitable. Like, don't be so fucking piggish. Like, leave, you know what I mean? Like, you don't need every last bit of your crop. You don't need every last bit of, like, everything.
I think I would have liked him rather than leave them there. Like, gather it all up and set aside some for, a charitable donation. I think I would have liked that more.
Right.
Because now they got to come under the cover of darkness, sneak through your barbed wire, hope you don't get shot at because, you're gleaning some grapes.
Right. No, I definitely see what you're saying. Yes, like,
Don't make
be
them
charitable
shit,
with your shit and, like, hand it out rather than just, like, leave it on the ground for, like, poor people to, like, lap up like some pigs.
Now, listen, I am no more better than anybody else. But what I try to do is like my recycling, like anything that has a refundable on it.
Yeah.
Like I usually put into a separate bag and I hang that off the side of my trash can. Mm-hmm. So somebody doesn't have to pick through my garbage. They can it's already sorted for them. They can just take the bag and go. Maybe I'm making their life too easy because, they have an easy life.
In fairness, Scott, this happened, like a
bag of grapes would have been nice.
You're coming about like 4,000 years after this, right? So we've had time to evolve as a society. You don't know if you would have been doing all that back then.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true. There's a lot of crazy
shit.
You learn
from their mistakes. We should just be happy that God is giving good advice to people.
So far.
Right. I'm just saying, like, of all the shit, like, to be nitpicky about this and saying, well, I wish he would have said this and that.
You're right. Like, when's enough is enough, Scott. Don't let perfect get in the way of being good.
Right. Don't let perfect be the enemy of, what's the saying?
Pretty much what I said, but you're just refining it a little bit.
No, there's an actual saying.
Right.
It's not pretty much. It's like there's an actual saying. Don't let perfect be the enemy of...
Or get in the way of good or whatever, man.
Shit, I forgot. All right, whatever.
All right, that brings us to Leviticus 19:11, and I actually didn't put any notes, but I said read and reiterate. Thou shalt not steal. You shall not deal falsely. You shall not lie to one another. You shall not swear falsely by my name. I am the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You shall not defraud your neighbor.
Yeah, I have.
It's a repeat.
Be honest, be fair, be unbiased.
Right. Well, so there was one here, and you shall not keep for yourself the wages of a laborer until morning.
Right. So pay them like what?
Pay them
every
when
day?
you're supposed to pay them.
Right.
Maybe in the morning, just as right. Like if you're supposed to pay them on Friday, don't pay them on Saturday.
Right.
So it's like, yo, I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. No, wimpy, you ain't getting a fucking hamburger from me unless you pay me now.
Right.
So yeah, don't be a douche with the people's money.
Well, that's a bad analogy.
Yeah,
because Wimpy's a customer who wants a burger. You're making him the burger. You are not his employee.
I got the feeling that Wimpy was kind of a bum, actually. So maybe it was a bad analogy for that
well,
reason.
Wimpy was probably based on a character from your neighborhood. I could see like some, some Wimpies in your neighborhood.
Like he's like the Paulie from Rocky, like in the early years.
Well, the less angry Paulie.
Yeah, well, because he's still intoxicated. Keep it down, you sterno bums. Decent people trying to sleep up here.
Well, that's Rocky 3. But in Rocky, he was really fucking angry. He fucking threatened to bash Rocky's fucking head in or break his arm with a baseball bat.
But he gave him his sister.
Yeah.
And he was being disrespectful. I don't know, man. What do you ask? Like, you banging my sister or something?
He popped your cherry.
You're not a virgin. Yeah, good stuff, man. All right, then you shall...
all of a sudden she had an opinion.
Yeah, well, the Supreme Court probably take that away pretty quick.
Yeah.
Not funny.
Yeah.
Here's to Oliver and democracy. Two things we're going to miss a lot in this country. You shall not revile the deaf. Now, I wasn't quite sure what revival means. It basically means like talking like talking bad to somebody.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? You're fucking like people make fun of the deaf dude. They're like, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that, nah. Like, he can't hear you, you punk.
Uh-huh.
Don't be a punk. And then don't put a stumbling block before the blinds. Now, I'm sure that's not literal, right?
Yeah.
They didn't get together for fun and like put blocks in front of blind people.
This is the whole precept is pretty much the same thing. It's like, don't be assholes. Don't be dicks to other people.
Don't take advantage of people that are less fortunate.
Right.
Yeah. I wonder if they really were putting blocks in front of people. That's some shit they would do like 6,000 years ago for fun. Yeah. And then he goes, you shall fear your God, I am the Lord. And by the way, I want to point out in Leviticus 19, I'm going to stop saying I am the Lord. He repeats, I am the Lord constantly. Did we ever determine... Not like Pharaoh, but is Lord a title? Was it a title before God showed up? Like, did you call like the landlord the Lord? Like, does the word Lord exist before Yahweh showed up?
So I'm trying to remember who heard the term Lord from Yahweh first. Was it Abraham or was it Abraham's grandson Israel? That I can't remember. I think Israel is the one. Because Israel was like, what's your name? What's your name? Israel being Jacob, by the way. And then, like, Yahweh told them his name is Yahweh, which basically means, like, Eloheinu or whatever it was. Remember, like, that whole thing, which basically translates to the Lord.
Yeah. I'm interested to see if that was a title, because I think they even use a different font.
I think you should write a book about that.
About what?
About the Lord, the etymology of the word the Lord, and like what it really means.
I really don't think it would require a book.
Why? There's a whole book about zero.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Like the numerical value of zero?
Yep.
Then really?
Yep. Didn't exist.
Well, the Romans didn't have a zero, right?
I don't know. I don't remember who invented zero, but I know it didn't exist, and when like someone figured it out, like it changed everything.
You think all their math was like unsolvable until they realized, you have to account for
I don't know if it
nothing.
was unsolvable, but I think it was an important like factor for. I don't like. It's crazy, right? Like thinking about that is like crazy. Something so simple like 0, but yeah, apparently like there's
Because it's
a
the
thing.
nothing.
There's a book and
It's the nothing. Like from the Never-Ending Story.
I know the nothing.
You like that movie.
Atreyu.
Yeah.
No,
Oh.
it's a great idea. You don't remember
Where's
that?
that from? That's from the Never-Ending Story?
Yeah, that's when that kid's like all locked up in the school attic reading the book, and then like in the book, the kid on the horse stops with his horse, and he's like, "I think it's a good time for lunch." He's like, "It's a good idea for lunch," and then the kid that's reading the book is like, "No, it's a great idea," and then he takes out his like lunch and starts eating it while he's reading the book. And the reason it's funny is because that kid was such a fucking douchey fucking nerd, you know?
Yeah, I don't remember. I really don't remember.
Oh, man,
that
I
many
know that
scenes.
I know that movie, like, scene by
Oh,
scene. Yeah.
All
Plus,
right.
I've seen it recently with Noah.
Oh, nice. Did you like it?
You know what we tried watching that was awful, by the way? The Dark Crystal. That movie
I don't know if I ever
was
actually saw that thing.
boring.
It was all puppets, right?
It was all puppets.
Muppets and stuff.
Yeah, and it was fucking boring as shit. It was like, imagine like badly written Shakespeare, right?
Yeah, it's called Shakespeare.
But
What's
shit,
up? What are you
that's
gonna do,
fucked
William?
up, man.
What are you gonna do, William?
Yeah, it was just bad.
I'm reviling Shakespeare.
It's like one of those movies that like gets like 10,000 people that are like really vocal about it because they love it. You know what I mean? It gets like that like concentrated cult following.
Yeah.
But if you really watch it, it's fucking terrible.
like the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
And if you like fucking whoever's listening right now, if you like Dark Crystal, then fuck you too.
All right, I'll add that to the Rusty
Yeah.
8. You shall not render an unjust judgment. You shall not be partial to the poor or defer to the great. With justice you shall judge your neighbor. So you will not render an unjust judgment.
It's
So
weird
how-
because Jesus was partial to the poor, from what I understand.
Who?
Jesus,
Who's that?
which is, remember he had that saying that said like something about a rich man, you have as much chance of getting into heaven as a rich man has through the eye of a camel.
I thought
or
he said,
whatever.
if I was a rich man. No.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So you shall not render an unjust judgment. So how can all of those cops fill the paid prisons up with inmates if they're giving like just
Well, the cops
judgments?
aren't doing that. The corrupt judges are doing that.
All right. It starts with the arrest, right?
Sure.
So I'm saying everyone's
it's the
deep.
whole system,
The
right?
whole system runs deep.
Sure.
All right. That's a lot of people out of work.
Yeah. Listen, it's got profits to make. We have a for-profit fucking prison system
It's
in
amazing,
this country.
right? A for-profit prison system.
It's the craziest shit ever.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be for-profit soon with this Supreme Court.
Oh yeah.
They just took away the EPA's rights to
saw
fucking dictate guidelines.
Not even on the news,
I
right?
can't do it.
Wait, you can't cap the emissions coming out of a power plant?
No, they don't. They weren't elected. Even though the Constitution gives Congress the right to create agencies.
So
You know what I mean?
basically, the EPA has no teeth anymore.
I don't know. I have to like read a little bit more about the Supreme Court decision today. You know what I mean? But from my understanding, this is only the beginning
Of
of
course.
what they're going to deregulate.
Of course.
Yeah, no. Pretty soon.
Listen. You can only here's the deal. Is a scale. You can only have so many regulations. So what do you want to have regulations on? Like our drinking water and our atmosphere, or random women's vaginas
Speaking
and
of,
reproductive systems?
Speaking of, well,
Yeah, you better choose your regulations
Right.
wisely, but you only get so many.
right, because it's in the Constitution. The Constitution says only 5 regulations per generation.
Well, Donald Trump said for every regulation passed, 2 need to be rescinded. You remember
Right.
that?
No, I don't.
Oh, yeah, look
Did he
that
say
one up.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
He would have said more, but I don't think he could count that any higher.
Yeah. I don't even know what I forgot what I was going to
That's
say.
all right. You
Go
should
ahead.
not go around as a slanderer among your people, and you shall not profit by the blood of your neighbor. I said I wasn't going to say that again. All right, so you don't go around talking shit about people, And you don't profit by the blood of your neighbor. I assume that means you don't profit off their labor. And, like, you don't
Wouldn't
take
that be
credit
by
for
the
shit they do.
sweat?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh.
Maybe
Blood,
by
sweat,
the
and tears.
profit by the blood. Maybe do they mean like turning slave, like getting a slave from like your neighbor? So like making your neighbor's kid or daughter or whatever.
Or
a
maybe
slave?
not profit off, like, their bad luck. Like, if they break an arm or something. Like, don't
that
all of a
too,
sudden, don't be an
sure.
ambulance chaser kind
Sure,
of thing.
Sure.
You shall not hate in your heart any one of your kin. Fair enough. Okay. Yeah.
Why?
Which
Just
is
because they're
silly.
your kin?
Because it's silly because you can't choose your family.
Let's
You're
say
stuck with any
someone
asshole
very
that-
close to you empties out your bank account.
Okay, all right, stop it. Stop it.
All right. I'm just saying. Gotta have a little hate in your heart.
Pass that bottle, please. It says, you shall reprove your neighbor, or you will incur guilt yourself.
Reprove.
Reprove, which means, like, basically, like, talk shit about them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's you know what? It's a bad thing to do. So he's telling him you should do this bad thing to your neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I'm reading that wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm sure, the theologians will tell me I am. You shall not take vengeance or bear a grudge against any of your people, but you shall love your neighbor as yourself.
So basically, what Yahweh is saying, do as I say, not as I do.
Oh, shit. Yeah, absolutely.
Because he is guilty of almost all of these things.
And who are your people?
The Israelites. He's talking to the Israelites.
All right, so, okay.
And as we'll learn later on.
All right, so, but you shall love your neighbor as yourself. So let's just, argument's sake, hypothetically, my way of loving myself is chronic masturbation.
Okay.
So if I'm supposed to love my neighbor as yourself, do I have to go rub off my neighbors? like, I don't know about that.
Yes.
Well, it comes up later because you end up unclean if you do shit like that.
But that's okay. You have time to get clean.
That's right. You shall keep my statutes. You shall not let your animals breed with a different kind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you know why he said that? Because of the catastrophe that was the Noah's Ark. When the platypus walked off that fucking ark, Yahweh was like, what the fuck is that? So, fair enough. Maybe they shouldn't be, we don't need those, like, mixed animals.
So what about ligers?
Was that human done, or was that in the wild?
No, like humans breed tigers and lions.
Why the hell would they do that? Just because they
Have you ever seen a liger?
I don't think so.
That shit is fucking awesome, bro. Oh my god, they're huge. They're the biggest like cats in the world.
It's not as fun to say as like Labradoodle though.
No, it's not. Labradoodles.
Well, they're both
awesome.
dogs, so they're different types of dogs, but they're all dogs.
What,
right?
Labrador and
Doodles.
poodle? It's a poodle.
Poodle, right?
A doodle.
It's like
a doodle's a drawing, man.
Yeah. You shall not sow your field with two kinds of seed. Yeah. Why? Does one take away from the other? I don't know. Is that
Maybe
good farming
fucks up
advice?
the soil. Yeah, it's probably like. Yeah.
All right. So far we got like animal breeding advice. It's probably not good to do that. It fucks up the soil. Nor shall you put on a garment made of two different materials. So when I read this about an hour before you came by, I took this very shirt off that I'm wearing to expect like, oh, this 30% rayon, 20%. Nope, 100% cotton. So I am good in the eyes of the Lord
today.
With this shirt today. But now let me ask you this: we've got buttons on this shirt. Is that considered a different material?
No, because I think he's just talking about the textile itself.
Okay.
The fabric.
Because I'm sure they clasp their clothes shut with something, right?
Yeah, the buttons aren't part of the fabric.
All right.
So he said no clothing made of two different materials. That's wacky.
I wonder why that is. Could it be because all the materials were natural? Like you don't want to take sheep fur and goat fur and mix them? Maybe it causes a problem?
I don't know.
Huh. All right.
I don't know.
If a man has sexual relations with a woman who is a slave, designated for another man, but not ransomed or given her freedom, an inquiry shall be held. But he ain't going to be put to death. Because I don't know why. Oh, because she has not been freed. So apparently, I got to think any sex with a slave is rape. But what if it's not your slave? What if, like, I rape your slave? I mean, what if I have sex with your slave? Is it automatically rape? What if we fell in love? Aren't there stories like that? Like Abraham Lincoln fell in love with a slave, and
Thomas Jefferson,
one of those
and
guys.
Sally Hemings.
Okay, all right.
Look, I'm of the opinion that everything is possible, right? I don't believe in like extremes. So like when somebody says it's impossible to like be a slave owner and have sex with a slave, that isn't rape. You know what I mean? Because a slave can't consent, right? So for the most part, I agree with that, right?
Sure.
But I don't live in a world where everything things are absolute.
Gotcha. No, that's good.
You know what I mean? So, like, there's a very slim chance that Sally Hemings might have wanted Thomas Jefferson. So, I don't know, Scott. I think you're going to have to find a slave.
What?
Make her fall in love with you.
Yeah, I read something and I just breezed over because, it's not important. That like there's, like, more slaves now than there were, like, 200 years ago.
Than there's ever been.
Come on. Is that true?
Because there's more people now. Sure.
All right, but where are they? Like,
everywhere in the
Really?
world. There's slaves here in this country.
Stop. Where?
Well, well, first of all, sex trafficking is a real thing.
Oh,
that's
sure.
one kind of
Oh,
slavery.
well, you know what? I did not even.
There are, I would say, tens of thousands of women in this country who are sex trafficked and have no choice in the matter.
So you think that's what they were counting?
I think that's one thing that they're counting. Then you go to Africa. I'm pretty sure there's a large, significant portion of like Chinese slave labor being used in Africa to like build up like infrastructure and shit like that.
Enslaved by Africans or Chinese?
Well, the Chinese have given over these people to work on projects. A lot of them are for Chinese businesses, probably, I would say. China's like developing Africa and the Middle East. So I'd say that. I would say there's probably still slavery, like in parts of Africa, right? Like in tribal areas. I'm sure there's still tribal areas. I'm sure warlords in Africa, in the midst of civil wars, have slaves. Child soldiers were slaves. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, man.
So we think of slavery, right, as like picking cotton. Right. But honestly, there might be worse forms of slavery than picking cotton.
Wow. You know what? I was going to say I'm going to look into this, but I don't. There's enough depressing shit going on.
Oh, my God. It's totally depressing to think about. Like, right now, someone is being forced to live a life against their will.
And I'm like, I'm drinking white wine. The world's fucked up.
Oh, look, you've got white privilege.
Yeah, white wine privilege.
Yeah, you're a cisgendered white male.
Yeah. So then he gives some rules about tree planting. If you're going to plant all your trees for 3 years, the fruit is forbidden. So at first I was like, what? Then I'm starting to realize as I read more. The 4th year, you give it all to God. All right, that's fucked up. And the 5th year, all is good. But that's good arborist advice. Like,
well, but that's kind of like they have like that. I forgot what it's called. The pattern farming. It's like you have 4 fields.
We talked about that.
Rotation farming, right? And you rotate. Like, you go from one to the next.
So one field always lays fallow and can regenerate. Yeah. So that's probably what this is. Like, if you don't pull the first fruit off the tree, probably, I don't know the things, but doesn't the fruit have to fall and the seeds go out and get blown around? That's how they get born. So if you eat the only apple on the first apple on the tree, you probably don't get any more apple trees.
Right.
Or whatever. So it sounds like good arborist advice.
Right. That's what the Dust Bowl was, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Dust Bowl was just over farming of like the plains.
Wait a minute. You mean to tell me on God's green earth, us insignificant humans could change so much that we'd create a Dust Bowl, change the climate that much?
And by the way, not in that many years either.
Yeah, it didn't take long.
Because like westward expansion, really didn't kick in until like the 1830s, 1840s, let's say, 1850s. And then in less than 100 years, the Dust Bowl happened.
So let's see. We killed the natives pretty damn quickly. We spread diseases. We made the Dust Bowl. Yeah, but we can't affect anything. Yeah. The nerve of you thinking we have that power.
You ever see like images or video of like a cloud of like dust coming through the plains. It's fucking
pretty
scary
sick.
as shit,
It's
man.
pretty
Yeah.
sick. It's on par with like the crazy dust storms you saw like in the Middle East, like when they're like towering like.
Yes.
Yeah, crazy.
It's like the dust storm in The Martian.
Yeah.
Before they have to like lift off and leave the Martian on the planet.
100-mile-an-hour wind would not be enough to knock over a fucking rocket on Mars. By the way, that part of the science was a little wonky.
The
atmosphere is so thin. No,
Who
the
told you
atmosphere's
that?
so
Neil
thin.
deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, probably.
He's got to fucking ruin like every single movie.
Yeah.
He's such a fucking piece of shit.
So
I'm so tired of him.
I appreciate Neil deGrasse Tyson, but I was watching some Carl
So
Sagan the other
tired of
day.
him, yeah.
Man, that guy can just lull you into loving.
He's great.
Like,
He's great.
and Neil deGrasse Tyson makes me feel stupid. Carl Sagan opened my eyes.
Neil deGrasse
makes me
Tyson
feel stupid.
loves to suck the fun out of things. You know what I mean?
I went to see him at the.
He's so arrogant.
I went to see him at the Brooklyn Academy of Music. He has a Star Talk podcast or Star Talk Live or something. So I went. It was pretty cool. We went there not knowing what to expect. Mayim Bialik came on.
Yeah.
Like she was like his co-host for the
She's
day.
an idiot too.
Yeah, she's an idiot, man. Yeah.
She promotes like
And-
some brain like supplement.
Yeah,
She's like supposed to be a neuroscientist, and she's on TV like hawking some kind of like brain supplement that's gonna make you like super smart.
Okay, yeah, man. Dr. Oz probably is only half as smart, and he's going to be elected something by somebody.
But what I'm
No,
saying
yeah, you
is,
think Mayim Bialik makes a lot of money in what she's doing? No, she's got to do ads.
but I'm saying you're a huckster then. If you're a PhD,
So is every athlete on a Wheaties box. Anybody who sports a pair of sneakers in their name. Come on, they're all hucksters. They all got to make their money.
But being an athlete and selling shit is different than being a doctor, saying you're a doctor, and then selling shit for people's health that isn't like improving their quality of health.
Did you read the fine print on the bottom?
I'm shocked that you're defending. Okay,
I
so
like
so
Mayim
this is where we stand.
Okay,
I say Mayim Bialik is a fucking huckster piece of shit who uses her science degree to scam people out of money in order to put money into her pocket. Scott loves her.
That might be true.
Okay.
Every job I've ever had in my life was to get people to give up their money for something that
great.
they didn't need. Come on, that's what everybody does.
Okay.
Man, the girl's got to put food on the table too, man.
I know.
Shoot. And then Bill Nye the Science Guy was there too.
So you're saying her like 10 years on the TV show that's in reruns on every single
She was
channel.
Blossom too, right?
Yes. That wasn't enough for her. She needs to be hawking fucking pills on TV or
Maybe she
whatever.
believes in the product,
Okay.
man.
All right.
You ever see the Brady Bunch? I think Mike Brady wanted to like I don't know. For some reason, they picked the Brady Bunch to do an ad, and he was like, "Well, listen, family, we haven't actually tried the
It was
product."
like
so
laundry
well,
detergent.
Well, yeah,
or
and it
something.
overflowed or something. So
I
maybe
remember.
she's like that. Maybe she did clinical studies on it.
Okay.
Well, she saw the double blind.
Okay.
Whatever, man.
You know how I know that didn't happen?
No, I
because
don't know.
would have read about that shit in like Scientific American or Time or the New York Times, where they would have been like, "Yo, there's this new fucking medication where if you take it, you will remember shit in your head. Like it's gonna like totally improve fucking." Your mental state, you should totally fucking go because it's been peer reviewed and like here's the paper from like fucking Nature and fucking so that's how I know it's bullshit.
All right. Maybe you just didn't miss that issue of Scientific American.
Or they just sent it straight to Mayim Bialik for her peer review.
Yeah, you know how the post office can't be trusted
Yeah.
and shit.
She's the new Madam Curry. By the way, she was the first one to be fucking radiated or irradiated. There was a conversation in one of the podcasts where you had mentioned something about like the Manhattan Project. Like we discovered like you can like radiate people, whatever.
Mayim Bialik was the first one?
No, Madam Curry.
Oh.
She's the one that like
She drove around an X-ray machine.
discovered like, radiation.
No, she drove around an X-ray machine back in the day.
Yeah, she was badass.
Yeah. Glowed in the dark, but
Yeah,
badass.
well, listen.
All right, so again with no eating the blood. No augury or witchcraft. Did you look up augury? Or did you know augury?
Augury?
A-U-G-U-R-Y.
Yeah, no, I didn't look it up.
So I put in parentheses, I think it was fortune telling.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was like, let me verify. No, it comes from the Romans. or the Romans still do it, or they did it after this, where some dude would claim by watching the patterns of birds, he can forecast the future.
Oh, that's cool.
He can get omens from birds.
Yeah. That's cool.
And I'm thinking, who is the sucker that gave him that job? Like,
there's actually a scene in that movie with Russell Crowe, A Beautiful Mind.
Never saw it.
There's a scene in A Beautiful Mind where he's like looking out of a window and he's looking at the way the birds are moving on the ground because he's like a mathematician in that movie at Princeton, and he came up with some kind of economic thing that like won him the Nobel Prize, but he turned out to be like a schizophrenic. That was like, like seeing like he thought like the government like agents were like coming after him.
They probably were.
So it was like based on a true story of like this guy. And there was a scene where he saw pigeons and augury.
Augury. I've always said, based on my own life, that just because you're paranoid does not mean they're not after you.
Right.
So, all right. So augury. Well, that seems reasonable. Like, don't believe this dick.
But it could also be true that they are after you, and you are paranoid.
That's what I'm saying.
Also,
that's what I.
Yeah,
that's
you could be
what
both.
I might have messed that up, but I think that's what I said.
Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah, it's
a crazy saying.
Especially not in this new post Roe vs. Wade world.
That's it.
Oh, wait. The kid's already born? Yeah, you can do whatever the fuck you want with it.
It gives like a whole new meaning to like, drive safe. It's like, hey, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
We should start using stupid phrases like that all the time.
Let's do that.
Like George Carlin would say, hey, don't get hit by a truck. Some people need practical advice. All right, so no augury or witchcraft. So I'm down with the augury. Like, that's just nonsense. That's just somebody like getting over on somebody.
Yeah.
The witchcraft, I think we're going to revisit that later. All right. No rounding hair on temples. I guess don't cut your sideburns.
No rounded hair.
I guess you don't.
Oh, right. No rounding your hair, right?
Like
I don't know.
grow?
I don't know what the fuck that means.
Is that why the Hasidim grow like?
Bro, I don't fucking know.
No marring the edges of your beard.
Like, I was trying to figure out what would rounded hair around my temples look like. I don't know.
I think it's just maybe trimming like the sideburn that comes down.
Is that what it is?
I think that's what it is. Just different terms.
Why can't you fucking trim your sideburns? Why can't you get a nice clean cut like around like your temple?
Well, I think that would lead to why the Hasidim grow
I mean, it makes sense what you're saying.
Side?
Sure.
Yeah, that's right. That's on the temple, right?
Pesos.
Pesos. How many pesos to a dollar? Like when you.
Oh yeah.
All right.
So you're making fun of their religious beliefs?
No, I was making fun of Mexican currency.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Jews and Mexicans.
No, I was not.
Let's see who else Scott can offend today.
No, don't you do that. All right. No gashes. Like, don't gash yourself, especially for the dead, whatever the hell that means. Or tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know that?
No.
Yeah, Jews can't be buried in like a Jewish cemetery if they have a tattoo.
Word?
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. Is this just some pervy excuse to like inspect every inch of a dead body? Oh, let me check right here between the buttocks, see if they bleached their asshole or something.
So, again, this might go back to your whole, remember, what were you saying about holy? What's the word holy mean?
Sanitized.
Sanitized. Well, it's very possible that when you get a tattoo, the needle is going into like a person's body, right?
And leaving stuff in the skin.
Right. So that's unsanitized. By the way, you know who had a tattoo?
Who?
Natasha. My mom.
Oh.
Did you know she got a tattoo?
I was like Boris and Natasha?
No.
Oh, I seen her tramp stamp.
No, she didn't have a tramp stamp.
I'm sorry.
Did you know she had a tattoo?
No. What? Yeah. Where was it?
It's pretty funny. It was like on her forearm. It was like the first initials of her grandkids, but it was like she got it when she was like in her 70s.
Oh, like fuck you, right? But the grandkids are cool. Yeah, fuck you.
And she told me my whole life, if you ever get that too, I disown you.
I thought you said she was going to get the semicolon.
The semicolon?
Oh, that's people who have contemplated suicide or contemplating suicide. It's like the semicolon is a reminder to them that their story is not over.
Why would my mom get a semicolon tattoo? What kind of joke is that?
I don't even know.
It's a stupid fucking joke.
I don't know. That was a bad joke considering she passed away.
Yeah, and fucking, who would even know about a semicolon? What fucking
everybody.
loser in your life fucking tried to off themselves?
Okay, so I'm just gonna reach out to everybody there. The world is a better place with you in it. If you're having trouble and know somebody's having trouble, please.
Yeah, suicide hotline.
Yeah. No tattoos. No making a daughter a prostitute. That seems reasonable. So far, it's good advice.
Don't pimp out your daughter.
Don't pimp out your daughter. Yeah, and certainly don't whatever. Visit one. Don't visit wizards or mediums.
Well, don't turn to mediums or wizards.
Right. So, the wizards, because maybe they compete with God's little magic tricks. Because remember the magic
Pharaoh.
Men from Pharaoh had
Pharaoh.
they had
Pharaoh.
skills. Yeah, what'd you say before? That didn't make any sense.
Go ahead.
So no mediums. I'm gonna circle back to mediums. No oppressing aliens. You know what jumped into my mind?
Yeah.
It wasn't Egypt and the Jews, sorry, the Israelites in Egypt. It was the aliens holed up in District 9 that got oppressed. You ever see that movie?
Sure.
Yeah. Did you?
Yes.
It was all right. I kind of remember being all right. The prawns, right. Yeah.
I think that's a movie that you have to watch a second time because maybe going into it you thought it was going to be a different kind of movie. It's kind of like if you went into Deep Impact thinking it was going to be one kind of movie.
Thought it was going to be Armageddon.
Right. Thank God it wasn't Armageddon. That movie was fucking awful, Armageddon. We've talked about it on the podcast. But talking about the part that you just talked about, Leviticus 19, it starts with verse 33. This is a section that Israel, today's modern-day Israel, should really fucking pay attention to.
No oppressing aliens?
Because if Israel is a Jewish state, right, and the Old Testament is part of the Torah, then they should really study this. So Leviticus 19, verse 33, it says, when an alien resides with you in your land, you shall not oppress the alien. The alien who resides with you shall be to you as the citizen among you. You shall love the alien as yourself, for you were aliens in the land of Egypt. So don't go onto their settlements. Don't throw them out of their fucking houses.
With a bulldozer.
And move in. Don't fucking bomb their fucking cities and apartment buildings and hospitals and children and fucking leave them to fucking die like on a completely isolated fucking waste of land. You know what I mean? Treat them like you would yourselves.
Because you were there once. But, question.
Not too long ago, by the way.
By the people you're talking about, are those people actually aliens, or were they there first before these other people showed up?
I mean, someone was always there first, right?
Going to be interesting when they finally get to Canaan. It's going to be very interesting. Honest weights and measures, like no cheating.
Yeah.
Like don't
put your fucking thumb on the scale.
Yeah, whether it's the scale of justice or at the marketplace.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was like Yahweh's he had a vested interest in that one. Like, don't tell me you're giving me 8 pounds of goat when I know it's only 7.5. Like these engines take a delicate balance.
I've got a metric scale over
Yeah.
here. I've got technology you can't even conceive of.
Honest ephah and an honest hin. I didn't look those up.
I'm telling you, some of these are so fucking random and weird. It might very well be a simulation being run, right? Sometime in the future, we've developed like quantum computers and quantum processors to the point that we can run like fucking highly complex simulations. And these might be simulations to see how far like we can fucking push like people. Like we might be in a simulation where they're like, let's see how far we can fucking push them and see like what they believe and what they don't.
See, I want to explore this. Like, this is the second time you brought up the simulation. But there's a very high likelihood that we live in a simulation. Because if you... Listen, I can give you a look where...
Tell me why you're skeptical.
I'm skeptical because you said it's a highly probable.
And I'll tell you why it's highly probable.
All right.
Do you believe that one day we will develop computing power that will be able to replicate a simulation like this?
Sure.
Right. If you believe that's the case, then why are we not that simulation? Why are we the species? So in other words, the probability of us being in a simulator then is much greater than us being the species that has developed that technology.
Wait a minute. Maybe you're right. So we're a simulation, and I just said you just asked, do you think we can get to the point where our computers can do a simulation? And I said, yeah. So eventually, the simulation we're in, we're going to develop that technology.
We can develop the technology,
and we're going to create a simulation,
right?
And they're going to develop,
right?
They're going to.
So there's simulations and simulations and simulations, right?
I got the J-Lo Goosies, man.
Well, that's the argument that's being made. Yeah, you gotta watch that fucking World Science Festival shit that I keep telling you about. They have like these conversations, but like from actual real like fucking quantum physicists and like quantum philosophers, like people that really like delve into this kind of shit and study it, and they make compelling arguments. They're not saying this is the reality, but they're saying here is why it's not out of the fucking realm of possibility. Like physically, it's highly possible and likely.
How about it's possible?
What?
How about it's possible?
How about it's possible?
Not highly possible or likely. How about it's just a possibility?
Okay.
But you're saying it's highly possible. But now you're like putting your foot on it. Like you're taking your stand.
I'm just saying what
this
they're
is what
saying.
I believe in.
I'm saying what they're saying, that it's highly possible.
Rusty, did you love your mother?
Yes.
Prove it.
Prove that I love my mother?
I don't know. It's from
Why?
It's from Contact. I don't know. It's like about faith.
I don't remember that. Oh,
Jody,
I
like
see.
Matthew McConaughey.
The Matthew McConaughey, the fucking,
yeah.
Oh, here's like, here's my stupid arguments for like, let's present the other side and pretend like he makes rational arguments for religion.
He did make one rational argument to sending someone that believed in God to meet the aliens. Because of the percentage, at least
most
at the time,
people believe.
So, like, you can't... I don't think you can, like, negotiate from that point of view, but you have to at least acknowledge that most of our species believes in a higher being.
Yeah.
But you believe in a simulation. Who's running this simulation, Rusty? A higher being? It's God. God
is running a simulation.
Well,
okay. Yeah, sure.
All right, so we don't know what an ephah and a hin is, right? Well, I'm going to highlight that for later.
Wow, you're still on 19, huh?
Give me a pick. Yeah. This we're not making it to 22 tonight.
Okay.
Unless we want to do a double episode.
All right, no.
All right, but we're doing 20 though. We had to hit 20.
Oh, 20. I've got like a whole bunch of notes on 20.
Because 19 was the shit you shouldn't do or should do, and 20 is the penalties for such items.
Right.
So we need to cover that shit.
Right. And there's a whole bunch of shit about like sex in there too.
Oh yeah.
There's like a whole section on sex penalties.
This would actually be good, like if we were like a series. This would be a good two-parter, like to be continued. But like the punishments coming later for this nonsense. But we're gonna.
Right.
This is gonna be like
one
one
of the through it.
made for TV movies, like and they like the shows used to do that. It'd be like a 2-hour movie because it was 2 episodes, but after you take the commercials out, it's on Netflix. It's only like an hour and 30.
Yeah.
So penalties for violations of holiness. Can I start this off? Because what do you want to start it off?
Oh, so you're on Leviticus 20.
Leviticus 20. I even highlighted and didn't announce it. Leviticus 20. Penalties for violations of holiness.
Okay. So, sure. So, it starts off...
First one's important.
What, the one about not giving your kids to Molech, or you're going to be stoned to death?
Yeah.
All right. So basically, God's like, yeah, don't like give up your kids to be don't sacrifice your kids to this Molech character.
It's the second reference to it.
Again, Molech comes up. So Molech is a competing god, and apparently Israelites were sacrificing their kids to Molech.
Oh, shit, dude. Who was the guy that was told to bring his kid up to the mountain? I'm going to kill him. Like, kill your kid.
Abraham.
Could that have been God? Like saying, how's Molech doing this? He goes, hey, Abraham, I want you to kill your kid.
Maybe that was Molech.
Shit. And then maybe God stepped in and was like, yeah, no. He's like, Molech, get the fuck out of here, man. Not do that to your people, not my people.
Yes.
Yo.
Because remember, God didn't show up. It was like an angel that showed up.
So Molech was telling... Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So God maybe sent like one of his squires. You know, Yahweh's got like squires. Those are the angels. So they're like knights. They're like, you know, like Molech and fucking Yahweh. These are like dinosaurs that left Earth. They've got like squires.
Yo. Do you think like God and Molech are both in their own war rooms? And they got like the pieces on the board.
It's like Game of Thrones, man.
And some guy runs in, yo, Yahweh. Molech's about to have Abraham kill his son. All right, dispatch angel number 727A into the bush, or wherever the fuck he was. The rock. He was between rocks, right? Like,
what are they trying to accomplish, though? Like, what's their play?
Whose play?
Yahweh, Molech.
Resources. To fight over resources.
But so, what do they need the resources for?
See, here's what Yahweh did. Yahweh figured out, I can survive on goats and rams and all these stupid sacrifices. Molech was like, yeah, I could too, but the children give me more fuel.
He developed like a taste for kids.
Or kids were more efficient.
Right.
Like you feed them into the warp core.
He's like the Jeffrey Epstein of aliens.
It's like a Voyager episode of
they found R. Kelly of... you heard about R. Kelly?
He just pisses all over the sheets, so he got convicted, right?
30 years he got.
What about Elaine Maxwell? High five for the good guys. Yeah, that was it.
She got 20 years.
All right, whatever, man. She'll be dead. She ain't even going to go to jail, watch. Whatever.
R. Kelly, man, he got 30 years.
So, okay, Molech realized incinerating the children, but it was short-sighted. Because Yahweh was like, yo, Molech, what are you doing? There's only so much fossil fuel you can burn. You're going to run out of it eventually.
Yeah.
You kill the children. You need children to make more children and keep it going. Find a way to use the goats or you're going to run out of fuel.
How long do they have to be collecting resources for? It seems like this is going on for like quite some time.
These are fucking city ships, man. They're fucking huge. You only see the shuttlecraft.
Uh-huh. How long do they stay alive for?
Who? Molech's and Yahweh's?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even know, man. Probably longer than us.
I just fucking figured it out, bro.
See? Now you're getting somewhere.
All right.
Now you're cooking with gas.
So, 1, the faster you travel, the slower time is for you. This is relativity.
Thank you.
Okay. It's impossible to travel at the speed of light.
Says you.
Says Einstein.
Yeah, what did he know?
So, let's say it's impossible to travel at the speed of light.
Okay.
Now, Yahweh has to traverse a tremendous distance to get to this planet from wherever he's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
So, even at tremendous speeds approaching light, it would still take
Forever.
Thousands of years.
Generational.
Probably. More than generational. Probably thousands of years.
So they're either a generational ship?
So, even at approaching the speed of light and time slowing down, time doesn't slow down that much that he's going to be able to survive the voyage. But they... What?
No, go ahead, but...
You seem like you don't understand what I'm saying.
No, I understand that time slows down, but that doesn't mean you're going to live longer from... You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to survive the voyage. Yes, you're correct. You're correct. Go ahead.
Right. So they are going to need like sleep stasis.
Some cryogenic type shit. Yeah.
Right. Now, once they arrive at Earth and they want to go back, right? They want to get back alive and relatively young. So I'm assuming, like when God told Joseph, send for your dad and have him live in Egypt and I'm going to look after him, right? And then fucking Joseph did it and his dad showed up and then they became slaves for 400 years. And then Yahweh was like, oh shit, I forgot about the fucking Israelites. That's when he was fucking in stasis, bro. He was in stasis for 400 years.
Oh, snap.
And then he woke up and he was like, oh, fuck, I got to take care. Like, they've turned him into, like, I didn't expect that Pharaoh was going to make, the Israelites fucking slaves. I thought, like, I called them to Egypt. I gathered them all together, and I was going to sleep for 400 years.
All right. I like where
so this is where God disappears to when like shit goes all crazy and he quote unquote has to remember shit in the Bible.
Because you wake up groggy from that shit.
Yeah. He's in stasis. Like he's trying to stay like young and
not only do you wake up groggy, you know what else you wake up?
Horny.
Every time someone wakes up from
hungry.
That's why it's like, bring me barbecue.
Right.
It's constant
there
fucking
you go.
barbecue.
He's in stasis.
Anybody who comes out of a coma, every fucking like hospital show has like the same tropes. How you feeling? Hungry. That's a good thing. Yeah. So boy, and I don't think they're going back where they came from. Why would they leave? I think what happened was they had to leave for whatever. They used up all the resources, like Independence Day.
Okay.
And this is just a stepping stone.
Or they're like criminals. They're like
they're on the lam.
They're like General Zod.
Now kneel before Zod.
Yeah.
And it got translated to God.
There you go.
Oh
shit. Revelation.
Oh no. Wow. All right, so we can spend all day on Molech. And if you don't kill the people that give their offspring to Molech, I will put my face against them and cut them off from the people. Is that a fancy way of saying
I think Molech needs a movie.
I think Molech is definitely a spinoff.
Yeah, there needs to be another book, man. A Molech book. Like the Book of Enoch. Fuck that, man.
The Book of Molech.
Yeah.
A lot of CHs.
Mm.
Is it Mach? Like, don't you pronounce CH like
Molech?
Mach?
I don't know.
Book of Enoch.
So basically, don't fucking feed your kids to Molech.
Yeah.
And again with the fucking mediums and wizards. He's got to like reiterate that
before
shit.
You get that, so when he says, I'm going to put my face against them and cut them off from the people, is that a fancy way of saying killing?
Did he say put my face against them
Yeah,
or turn my face away from them?
No, I will put my face against them and cut them off from their people. Like, yo, I'm going to get in your face.
Right.
I think he's got to be snuffing them out. Yeah, all right, now go ahead. Good.
That's it. And don't go to mediums or wizards.
So, because he will set his face and cut them again. All right.
And if you curse a parent, you got to be put to death.
So every fucking petulant teenager goes, I hate you, Mom. Fuck you, you're a whore.
So I don't think curse doesn't mean that. Curse means like if you're going to like mediums or wizards and you're having them cast like curses, right?
Oh.
Right.
Do you remember the time we were on a J train and our buddy was talking about this other girl who knew and they had satanic rituals regarding
awesome.
chickens? Yeah.
That was.
And I had a coughing problem.
You had a coughing problem. That was the funniest story I've ever heard.
Oh, crying. Oh, wow. All right.
Nick the Dick.
Nick the Dick. If you're listening, tune in, man. Fucking give us a shout. If you can get like your decks that were nailed to the floor off. All right. So adultery, death for both. All right. You know what? Listen, I think it's extreme, but all right. You fuck your father's wife, death for both. That means doesn't say your mother. Just means your father's wife. Like, it could be your stepmother.
Yo, I highlighted like this whole section to like
Then run with it.
So Leviticus 20 verse 10. If a man commits adultery with the wife of his neighbor, both the adulterer and the adulteress shall be put to death.
Extreme, but I get it.
The man who lies with his father's wife has uncovered his father's nakedness. Both of them shall be put to death. their blood is upon them.
I get it.
Not the father, the woman, right?
No, the woman and the son,
right.
That did the nasty. The people that are bumping uglies.
So you got to figure a lot of this is what's going on. That's why they have to be given these rules.
Exactly right.
If a man lies with his daughter-in-law, both of them shall be put to death.
By the way, I know a dude who fucked a woman who ended up becoming his stepmother. But we can talk about that offline. I'll give names offline.
Nice. They have committed, I already have a candidate in mind.
I bet you do.
They have committed perversion. Their blood is upon them. If a man lies with a male, as with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination.
Again with abomination.
They shall be put to death.
Now there's the punishment.
Their blood is upon them. So that's some fucked up shit, man. But how can you lie with a man like you would with a woman?
We talked about that last week, right?
Yeah,
like technically,
it's impossible.
Like there's a loophole here.
Right.
There's a loophole here. Yeah. So that's why nobody's putting anybody to death.
What about? All right. So let's say he is talking about, like, you know, even though with a woman it's vaginal, with two men it would be anal, unless it's a trans man.
Oh, whatever, man. Who knows, man?
So anyway, what about a handy? Can you get a handy?
But you get a handy from a woman too.
So no oral. What about if you're in prison? Because it doesn't count if you're in prison, right?
Because what you do there, what you did to survive, that's in there, man.
Right.
Yeah. Let's leave prison out of this for now.
Leviticus 20:14. If a man takes a wife and her mother also, it is depravity. They shall be burned to death, both he and they, that there may be no depravity among you. I don't understand. So if I
this is
bang Amy's mom, right?
You shouldn't really say that out loud. Don't put that in the universe.
Everyone, we all get killed.
You all get burned.
What did Amy have to do with it? Amy might not have known that I was doing her mom.
Well, that's the problem with extremism. There has to be nuance to everything. There's got to be a gray area. Let's get all the facts.
The gray area is her mom's pubic bone.
Because she's old?
Yeah.
Because
she's got gray pubes.
Yeah, no, I got what you're saying. It's she doesn't listen to this podcast, I hope.
Her Franciscan nun mom.
So, do you think your wife's one day going to go to her parents and go, listen, guys, I have something to tell you?
No.
I got to come out. Oh, my God, you're gay? No, worse. My husband has a podcast making fun of the Bible.
No, that's never going to happen.
Oh, shit. Wait. So is this a kink for you? Coming over here and doing this? It's so dirty and shady?
I never really thought of it.
Yeah.
Maybe subconsciously.
Think about it, yeah.
I think my whole life is a kink, fucking spitting in the face of convention.
So I want to touch on this. So do they mean you fuck the mother and daughter at the same time? You have a threesome? Or you're fucking them both and maybe either one doesn't know about it? The mother definitely knows you're fucking the daughter, probably.
So I'm going to say, the way the sentence is written, if a man takes a wife and her mother also, probably at the same time.
You know why this is a law where everybody gets burned to death? Straight jealousy. Oh shit, he's fucking the mom and the daughter.
I got to tell you this, though.
What?
I bet you if you looked at most of the mothers and daughters in this period of time,
it's all relative,
there would have
man.
been anything to be jealous of.
It's all relative, man.
I guess. You're saying
dudes, man. Dudes will fuck anything.
A vag is a vag, right?
Yeah. And just, that's your mother?
It's like that Chris Rock joke about fat girls, they go to the club, they dress all skimpy, and then they lift up their belly. They're like, I got a good pussy under this fat. You don't know that joke?
I don't know if I do.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
All right.
Good
Leviticus
pussy or
20,
good
verse
joke?
15.
Yeah.
If a man has sexual relations with an animal, he shall be put to death, and you shall kill the animal. What's the animal? The animal didn't do anything,
Well, here's
man.
the problem.
Go
Here's
ahead.
the problem. Some dude fucks a goat, right?
Yeah.
A day later or so, the goat gets slaughtered and you're all eating dinner. And the goat head's because nobody eats the head, it's right there. And all of a sudden, the guy at the table goes, "Yo, I fucked that goat last night," and like literally, you're spitting the food out of your mouth because you like now you just ate his semen.
Gross.
So it's not the. It's
you
almost
eat the
like
semen though, because you cooked the goat. I mean, you know.
Oh, so you're okay with cooked semen? Is that what you're saying?
I mean,
Rusty, you like some cooked semen?
if I had to have semen,
cook it.
I don't know.
Yeah, you've had some raw semen.
I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
Yeah.
All right.
So, you know, the animal's a casualty of war here, man. I'm sorry.
So, all right.
Yeah.
If a woman approaches any animal and has sexual relations with it, you shall kill the woman and the animal. They shall be put to death. Their blood is upon them. All right. So, in this case, if a goat fucks a woman, why can't you eat the goat?
I'm high-fiving the goat, right?
Yeah, like, why would you kill the goat?
You know what was fucked up, goat? Becky over there that you just fucked. I came up to her in lunchroom the other day, and she's like, "Ew, get away from me! You're disgusting." And I find out she's fucking a goat.
It's unbelievable. Well, the goat, in fairness, has more like Instagram followers than you.
Probably a bigger penis too, right?
So, if a man takes his sister, the hell was that? Clip.
It's called potential energy.
If a man takes his sister, a daughter of his father, or a daughter of his mother, and sees her nakedness, and she sees his nakedness, it is a disgrace, and they shall be cut off in the sight of their people. He has uncovered his sister's nakedness. He shall be subject to punishment.
Vague, but okay.
If a man lies with a woman having her sickness and uncovers her nakedness, he has laid bare her flow, and she has laid bare her flow of blood. Both of them shall be cut off from their people. You shall not. So
love conquers all. Period or no period.
Yeah. What's the big deal? I don't understand. Again,
it's a kink.
It's a kink.
It's a kink in God's eyes.
All right. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your mother's sister, your aunt.
Yeah.
Or your father's sister, your aunt.
Right.
For that is to lay bare one's own flesh. They shall be subject to punishment.
And the punishment was die childless, right?
What do you mean?
The punishment was you would die childless.
I'm reading it right now. Like, I'm literally reading it as it was written. I don't know.
As it was written?
Yeah. Does it say
so you believe...
Did I say anything about...
Right,
that's at the very end.
Oh, sorry.
If a man lies with his uncle's wife...
that's it.
He has uncovered his uncle's nakedness. They shall be subject to punishment. They shall die childless.
Okay. Let me stop you.
Okay.
So the uncle's wife isn't blood.
Okay.
You know, man, maybe you shouldn't have spent so many hours working in the office. Because your wife
the
is
uncle?
fine.
You're talking about the uncle?
Yeah. Uncle's out there, you know, not neglecting. Well, yeah, she got needs, man.
Yeah.
And she fine.
Yeah. She's an aunt, but she ain't an aunt by blood.
Right, all right.
If a man takes his brother's...
Wait, I can stop you again. And die childless? Hell yeah, I don't want to knock the girl up. I don't want,
Well, but then you won't have a child with your wife, maybe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah.
All right.
But who knows? Maybe she's worth it. Yeah. Maybe it's Maybelline.
Baby, I'm worth it.
If a man takes his brother's wife, it is impurity. He has uncovered his brother's nakedness. They shall be childless.
I got to stop you.
I'm done.
Like, did you pick up the irony on that?
No.
Oh, you can't fuck your brother's wife unless your brother dies. And then you better impregnate her or God's going to strike you down for spilling your seed on the floor.
Oh, right.
Right. Yeah, right.
But that's like also earlier he says don't like bang like your brother. Yeah.
So you can't bang your brother's wife until your brother dies. It's almost, again, like I said many episodes ago, it's incentive to kill the dude.
Yeah.
Especially if he's sporting like a fucking petty...
but you're not allowed to kill anyone.
Unless he's like sporting like this Technicolor dream coat.
You gotta love like your family members. You can't hate them.
But you see, and that's what I'm talking about. You're applying the laws we know now to people over there back then.
Right.
Like the moralities and the laws didn't exist then.
Sure.
So you have to judge them by the time they live in. That's what I keep being told.
Sure, okay.
So
these are all the new rules.
Sorry. So, yeah, all right.
All right. But you're the one that brought up the hypocrisy.
Right.
That's what I was responding to. And then you're arguing with me, telling me I can't compare.
Yo, what is wrong with you, man?
I don't like getting gaslit.
All right.
Like you set me up for that one.
That's kind of what I do. So God goes, don't do that shit when you get to where you're going, because the Canaanites did that. Well, he didn't say the place. They did that, and I abhorred them, and the land will vomit them out.
Yeah.
So don't do that shit.
Or the land will vomit you out.
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was like, okay, so if you go to a medium or wizard, he finishes off with, mediums or wizards need to be stoned to death.
You skipped something important, by the way.
Oh, I did? I'm sorry.
So it is funny because he does finish with the mediums and wizards will be stoned to death, right? Like that's how it ends. But I would say there's something even more important, but apparently not to Yahweh. To Yahweh, he's really obsessed with like these fucking mediums and wizards. You know what it is? He's still pissed off and angry about like that whole Pharaoh situation.
Yes.
When he was like with Moses and he was like, look at all these tricks. I'm going to totally scare Pharaoh into doing what I want. You know, and like Pharaoh's like magicians were like, we could do the same shit. You know, he was stewing over that shit. So now he's like, yo, man, any fucking medium or wizard, yeah, we're going to kill.
You pull out a fucking card trick, I'm
Right.
striking your ass
Right.
dead.
Like that was like his last thing. I would argue the shit that precedes the mediums and wizards is more important, where
one?
he basically says, I have separated you from other people. You're special. This is like you're the chosen people. Like the Israelites are my people.
Mm-hmm. Sanctified them.
I would say that's like the part, you know, that Jews cite about like we're the chosen people. Like we're the people that God has chosen.
Remind me, not that you're going to remember, but next episode I want to talk about the chosen few.
The chosen few?
Yeah, chosen few. I mean, there are a few. Like, they're not a majority. They're a few.
Okay. Why would I have to remind you?
Because I was at Costco today in Bayonne, New Jersey, and to get there, you have to take Chosen Few Way. There's a road named Chosen Few Way.
Oh, really?
Oh, God, yeah, it's weird. Like, I don't know what to make of it.
There's a place in Texas called Secession Road.
No, they're just looking to secede from like any kind of normalcy.
It's crazy.
It's different. So now can I do what I was going to say?
Yeah, talk about the
mediums or wizards are to be stoned to death.
Yeah.
Now I want to explain to you, like, stoning is basically they dig a pit, they bury you up to your neck, so only your neck and your head are above ground, and I guess they have like when you shoot darts, there's like a line you can't pass or it's not right. And everybody in the town gathers around this circle at a certain distance and they throw rocks at your head until you're dead. It is barbaric. So that's where mediums and wizards have to go. So, what about the girl on Long Island? I think her name is the Long Island Medium. She has a show. Are we going to stone her to death? What about Selena Gomez? When she was on Waverly Place, she was a wizard. Are we stoning these people to death?
What's Waverly Place? Is that the
This is the
Disney show
Waverly
she
Place.
was on?
Yeah, it was a show. Like when.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
That's interesting.
What about John Edwards? Remember John Edwards?
The senator?
No, not the senator or the men's shop that used to be on Jamaica Avenue in Queens.
Which John Edwards?
Where
No.
right off the J
I'm
train.
talking about the person that you're talking about.
Oh, he's like a medium. He has all these. And he takes random people out
Oh,
of
I
the
know who you're
audience.
talking
You know
about.
who I'm
Yes,
talking.
I
White
know.
guy,
I do
kind of
know.
like.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Like
He should be stoned to death.
probably not for being.
So should the Long Island medium.
So now let me ask you a question. I bet you both of those people believe in God, right? I'm sure they're God-fearing people. I imagine both of them have crosses around their
I'm
neck.
not going to be that presumptuous, but okay.
No,
let's
I'm not
play
being that
along.
presumptuous.
Okay,
All
let's
right,
say
all
they.
right.
Yeah.
So why are they still alive if we're reading this book? Like if we're adhering to this book?
Right.
Wizard? Nobody's claiming to be a wizard. There's actually people out there.
Because if they're Christians, this doesn't count.
What about Guinan in Ghost?
Yeah.
Well, she was like a fraud until she wasn't.
Right.
She was a medium, right?
Yeah.
Why is she still alive? Why 400 years later she's like in 10 forward on the Enterprise?
I mean, we could really go on and on about mediums and wizards.
So right now,
what about Harry Potter?
Oh, shit.
Kill that guy.
Yeah, you have to like take a weird train.
You're a wizard, Harry.
You know, I've never seen a single Harry Potter movie.
I gotta tell you, I've never seen a single one from beginning to end.
Are they bad, or are they just not like really? They're for kids. They're for kids, or
I don't know.
My stepmother loved reading the books. She had all them books.
I don't know. Really?
Yeah, she loved them.
Okay. I'll probably like watch it when Noah's old enough to read and then watch the movies.
So can we make a list of things like of people that should be dead according to what we read tonight? Everybody who has a tattoo, any medium, any wizard, any gay person having gay sex. Like, why are these people still alive?
Wasn't there some rules about like kill people like if they work on the Sabbath?
Oh shit! Yeah. So what the fuck is going on here, man? Like, we just taking bits and pieces of what we believe.
So again, if they're Christians, Jesus came around and flipped it. Remember?
You mean you see it coming? How could I remember it? We haven't gotten there yet.
Right. That's what I mean.
Yeah. All right, people.
That's it? We're done?
I mean, we have 20. I think we're done, man.
We're just going to end it like that all abruptly?
Oh, no,
we had a whole conversation last episode.
We gotta go out quietly. So, can I open this thing?
Sure, go ahead.
My advent calendar, my Star Trek advent calendar, board cube.
Scott didn't open it last time.
I think this is a wine bottle.
That's why we stopped doing it, because Scott took like...
feel it. It's a wine bottle stopper. Absolutely a wine
dramatic.
bottle stopper. All right, feel the taper?
I do.
Feel the rubber end?
I do.
Yeah, you can open it, man.
What do you think's going to be the top of it?
Oh, shit.
Forget that. What do you want to be the top of it?
I want it to be like some sort of like blood wine, like Klingon blood wine stopper.
Like a Klingon thing?
Well, they probably don't stop that
Not
shit up.
like-
They drink the whole bottle.
Not like a Riker torso?
Oh, by the way, I brought up notes that, remember we were talking about blood pie last week?
Yes.
And you're like, you were in Ireland, didn't you have some blood pie? I was like,
Yes.
that sounds Klingon. Blood pie is Klingon. Blood pudding is Irish.
So blood pie is
It was
Klingon?
Klingon, yeah.
Gross.
Wait. Maybe blood pie is what's the abomination in this Leviticus. Like, you don't want to eat, like, the blood pie.
Oh, like the muff.
Yeah. All right, open that shit up,
It's
man.
cool, man.
Cool.
So I'll tell you this. See if you can figure it out.
All right.
All right. So nobody really has to be listening at this point. Like the show is officially done now. We're running out the string at this
These
point.
fucking guys.
All right. I'll give you a hint. Okay. Deep Space Nine.
Something from Quark's Bar.
It's exactly.
Oh,
Quark's Bar.
shit. A Quark's Bar fucking... Yo, I gotta go to my Star Trek podcast and talk about this. I mean...
Why don't you just
I don't talk about it.
take a photo of that and post it on...
Fuck, this is
online.
dope. This is the best thing out of the three.
You like it?
It was the Fizbin cards that sucked. The Kirk pin was nice to wear, but this is everyday
Bar.
use. Cool, man.
All right. Let's end on that note.
All right.
Peace out.
Peace and long life.